So we have this news story out of Denver. It was either Denver or Colorado proper, but out there now, psilocybin mushrooms have been decriminalized. It really is a quote-unquote one small step kind of moment. And again, I'm actually, if this is weird because like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if you would have asked me if I ever thought that that psychedelics would go mainstream so quickly, I would have said no way. I mean, perhaps weed. I was even skeptical if weed would ever, become decriminalized and legal and whatnot. But at this moment in time, I do think we are heading very quickly toward total social acceptance of psychedelics. And yeah, psychedelics and psychedelia will be in vogue, and way more people will try them. And it really will be. It will presumably be that type of utopia that a lot of psychedelic enthusiasts and drug enthusiasts have patiently waited for. I'm the first person to have said, things like, I think if there's ever a chance for world peace, it would have to come by way of a massive psychedelic revolution in society. So, this is something that we should all be welcoming, right? I mean, it's definitely a good step. At the same time, and this is why I'm making this video, I just want to ramble and possibly get you guys' feedback, because this is just kind of a theme that does go through my head. So as psychedelics become in vogue and more people are using them, it's not that it's anticlimactic. It's that my ego wants to put up a bit of a defense. And I just want to try and analyze what's really going on here. I, to an extent, feel possessive of the mushroom experience. And I'm hesitant to let it go, so to speak, let go the concept of being in something of a secret society. I mean, it's like, I don't know what the actual statistics are for it's going to vary in state to state or country to country, but like what percentage of people in society have used psychedelics and kind of know what that feels like. And when I was in high school and college and stuff, it was pretty much it was definitely under 5 or something. Very few people knew. And let's go back to the first time. Sorry, I just got a text from work and I'm trying to read it. The first time I tripped on mushrooms, I remember I was 20 years old and I was sitting on a river pontoon. This was in West End of Brisbane, Australia. I was sitting at night on a river pontoon, tripping on mushrooms, and my friends and I were looking out on the river at this big, crazy party boat. People were yelling and screaming, presumably drunk and everything, on the party boat, and I'm looking at this boat, and, my whole life to that point being someone who always felt out of place and jealous of everybody else and feeling like I'm missing out on something. And I'm not really alive. I'm an observer, not a participant and everything. And that first time on mushrooms, looking at that party boat, and I genuinely did not feel jealous of those people. In fact, I felt sad for those people because I saw those people on that boat as the ones that were lost, desperately trying drink after drink or whatever to, find something that they're desperately looking for. And yet there I was, for the first time in my life, seeing, the outside of the Plato's cave, seeing reality for what it was, or at least what the mushrooms show it to be, whatever that is. Nobody knows what that really is. But, yeah. So, and just because of that moment of not being jealous of the people on the boat, and feeling like I was in the better position, and that I, for once in my life, was the person who had found something. And just for that alone, that makes psychedelics, but psilocybin mushrooms in particular, they will always be my favorite chemical. Just because of that. I mean, there's billions. I could ramble for hours about, everything about psilocybin. But anyway, so the more I tripped, and the more like these themes kind of came up that, you're privy to something that not everyone's privy to, and you feel special in that way. You feel like you're a messenger, and I know this sounds like hippie nonsense, but like you're a messenger from the mushroom gods. They're delicate to humanity, and you're talking, and then you meet other people that have tripped, and you have like this bond before you even met because you guys know what that is and everything. And it's something that, my whole life, the more you do this, you're risking the law. You're risking the law for something that feels very noble, and that too kind of sets you apart from society. But now that this stuff is going mainstream, there's part of me that's just like, wait a minute, no, that's my thing. And again, of course, this is my ego talking, and like I don't think the mushroom would want me to like even think like this. I mean, obviously, if the masses and everyone being able to experience psychedelics and that joy and everything, like obviously, you would think like if the moral thing would be to favor that. And it is still the ego acting up to feel possessive of it and to feel intimidated by a lot of people experiencing that. Like it's a loss of something, like I'm losing some of my uniqueness or whatever. And so, and so then you could also say like in certain shamanistic cultures, it's like only the shamans took the drugs and then they passed on the knowledge to their society through what they, and so it's almost like, you could say that like having a small minority of your society use psychedelics and really develop themselves and benefit from it, that in a way makes our culture almost more like those shamanic cultures than if just any old person's doing it, not respecting it. Because that's the other concern, is like if people just start doing mushrooms on the weekends, going on party boats and taking mushrooms on party boats and everybody doing it, like, it's like, are people going to have the same experience? Because it's not, that you can say like, do you find the mushroom? Does the mushroom find you? And, if you flip the tables on that, it's like, are you really going to get as much out of it? So yeah, this is obviously something that I need to shed because it's not healthy, but it's still there. And I just want to know if anybody else kind of experiences something like this. I mean, yeah, then you could also say like, well, if mushrooms and psilocybin mushrooms or LSD or DMT, those are the three big ones, go mainstream, like there's always going to be psychedelics out there that nobody's done that you can take and feel unique and everything. But yeah, it's just processing the fact that something that I felt very private and unique with, but in like a profound way, is going to suddenly become something that's extremely mainstream. It just feels threatening in a way. So I'll keep this video short, but yeah, please comment if you guys have any kind of connection to what I've been saying or anything you would like to add.